Did any of you guys hear about the latest attacks that are going on right now? There's been some crazy uh, cyber truck that was driven into Trump's tower in Las Vegas about 24 hours ago. And it literally just blew up right in front of Trump Tower in Las Vegas. And it's crazy. Then, of course, there was the other situation where another truck, electric vehicle, was driven into a crowd. But now we're getting warnings. We're getting alerts from Donald Trump's Border Czar, Tom Homan, telling us that they're not even over, that these holiday attacks and these holiday targets, which are really just these evil, horrible things, are not over. I mean, we got the FBI investigating it. I don't know how many of you guys have faith in the FBI. We've got the Louisiana governor calling an attack on the NOYA, aka New Orleans. Well, we have Tom Homan giving us an advisory alert on what we can expect next. Watch. By the way, guys, please take a second, hit the like button. Thanks so much for subscribing. You guys are awesome.
Tom Homan now, the incoming Trump administration border czar. Tom, great to have you here. And I want to get to New Orleans again in just a second, but we just got this fresh information out of Las Vegas, and the police chief there giving us a lot of new details. I want to get your reaction to. He characterized what they're learning on the ground there in Las Vegas as a that occurred immediately thereafter. They're not aware of any other subjects involved in that case. While they are aware of the similarities to the person who carried out the attack in New Orleans, they are not able to directly tie these two events together. They have no evidence that they are tied together.
Guys, real quick, tell me what you think on this one here. Where was it? Okay.
Washington.
What do you think about Nancy Pelosi here?
Nancy. I'm on my way to Washington to proudly represent the people of San Francisco in Congress. I'm honored to do so, to share our San Francisco values. Thank you for giving me.
Do you guys believe Nancy Pelosi? Do you trust Nancy Pelosi? Whether you live in San Francisco or not, California or not, does she represent the people? I mean, I know she's got a reputation for her amazing stock trades. Her and Paul Pelosi being just amazing investors in the stock market. It's miraculous how they seem to know when to make the trades, when to buy stocks and when to sell stocks at the perfect times to make the most money. And I get that, right? But look at Nancy Pelosi. She is what, 84 years old? Is it time for term limits, or should we let her have another 10 years? You think she's got another 10 years in her? And what's funny is because when you look at Nancy Pelosi, look at her face, right? We were looking at this video earlier today, and a lot of people were thinking that Nancy Pelosi had gotten a facelift. Well, look at Nancy Pelosi's face now.
Nancy. I'm on my way to Washington.
And compare her face to the other woman who looks like Nancy Pelosi with a facelift. Anyway.
But they do not believe any further from that particular incident is out there at this time. What was your reaction to what you heard?
Well, look, I think the further the investigation goes, I think they are going to find a connection between the two incidents. But look, they're both events. The man in New Orleans certainly had no plans to going home for getting out and trading gunfire with law enforcement. So I think both these men realized they weren't going home after this event. But they aren't over. I've been on this network for 4 years talking about this coming across our southern border. And, we got a record number of known gotaways. Over 2 million people enter this country. We don't know who they are or where they came from or what their purpose to come to this country. They weren't vetted, they weren't screened, they weren't fingerprinted. We don't know who they are. And since the Border Patrol and CBP arrested well over 300 people on the watch list, how many of that 2.2 million who escaped apprehension, who escaped vetting, who escaped fingerprinting came from country sponsoring? Even Christopher Wray, the director of FBI, said numerous times under testimony in front of Congress that this is the biggest national security vulnerability he's seen. I agree with him. So we're not out of the woods. This country's in grave danger. We need to secure that border. And despite what's happened the last 2 days in Las Vegas and in New Orleans, this administration is not stopping. They're still releasing thousands of people every week through the CBP-1 app, the CHMV program, and Border Patrol continues to release people in this country without proper vetting. This is not a good thing, and I can't wait for the new administration to take power and secure this border and protect our national security.
Well,
Wow. I mean, this is crazy. Like, I mean, we already know Biden was doing his best to sell off the border wall for pennies on the dollar until the federal judge stepped in and blocked him from doing that, which is great. Because all that's going to do is, delay the finishing of the construction of the southern border wall and cost American taxpayers even more money because we'd have to buy wall materials at today's prices. And we all know how bad inflation is. Oh, man. So, and that's assuming you can even get the parts. That's assuming you can even get the materials because there may be a shortage on that particular type of material. So, but yeah, this is wild here. And then you got, these sleeper cells that we were warned about from, as Tom Homan just mentioned, FBI Director Christopher Wray. We were warned about these sleeper cells that are already in America. So even if they were to close the southern border today, these people are already here. Let that sink in for a minute, right? These people are already here. So what happens when they get the order from whoever their leader is and they're being advised to strike, right? And so when you don't know who they are, that's almost a bigger problem because then they've got the significant element of surprise. And Tom Homan, Donald Trump's border czar, just admitted that they don't know who all these people are. There are millions of people. I think he said there's 2 million unknown gotaways in America right now. And we don't even know why they're here. We don't know what their purpose is, and we don't know who they are. So you know that they're here. Imagine fighting an enemy that you cannot see, who could theoretically be heavily armed and could be setting all of us up for traps, and we don't even know what to expect. Like, who would think that? Who would have just assumed that this Cybertruck was going to be a rolling thunder coming into the Trump Tower parking lot just 24 hours ago in Las Vegas? You know what I mean? Like, this is crazy.
Police chief was asked about the incident in Las Vegas, if they had seen any motivation and inspiration from any group. They had not identified anything there yet, I should say, at least. They said they're very heavily still in the middle of that investigation. But to the point in New Orleans and the FBI update that we all just got a short time ago, the FBI confirmed that the suspect in New Orleans posted videos online Tuesday night claiming that he had joined ISIS before the summer and provided a will and testament. So they did confirm that he was indeed inspired by that to carry out that act and attack there in New Orleans.
Well, that brings another issue. I think the incoming administration needs to look at insiders. I mean, insiders analysis has been put in the back seat by this administration. If we got 2 people who served in the military that were that committed the attacks. We need to really dig down into insiders in our military, in our federal service, whether it's the FBI, whether it's other agencies, whether it's the military.
You know what's really is this is scary because it feels like it's from within, right? These are former military. These are former individuals who served in the military, and this is unbelievably concerning because these are the people who serve and protect. I mean, not like the police, but you know what I'm saying? Like, these are people these are honorable men and women. And one of these individuals were honorably discharged. Now, here's another thing. They're saying that these people didn't plan on leaving the scene or whatever, right? But how do we know, at least the Cybertruck, right? I mean, this is a self-driving Cybertruck. Who's to say that the Cybertruck didn't drive itself over there and there was no one even driving it, right? Maybe there's like a fake person in there. Or maybe is it possible that, the person that they planted into the Cybertruck wasn't even alive at the time that they were placed into the Cybertruck? And then let's just take it a step further. Is it possible that they do that? They place a body into the Cybertruck and then make the Cybertruck drive itself, like a self-driving Cybertruck. Technology's there. Or even control it by remote control into the Trump Tower lobby and then set it off from a distance. I mean, it's not impossible to say that this could happen. And I hope that they're looking at all these different angles. And it wasn't too long ago that we had drones by the thousands going up and down the East Coast, crossing the Atlantic Ocean into states like New York, into states like New Jersey, just before New Year's Eve. Well, it was really like maybe a month before New Year's Eve, but leading up to this big holiday weekend, right? Leading up to a lot of these big recent holidays. And now we're getting word that there was a recent plane crash. There's a Fullerton, California plane crash that crashed into a building. I mean, it's just crazy. There are two people in this small plane that crashed into a Fullerton, California building. And this almost sounds like a 9/11 situation on a smaller scale. I think I'm going to maybe make a separate video to talk about that one. But this is just crazy. So I think Trump's borders are, Tom Homan's 100% correct, that are not over. Now, is this plane crash that just crashed into a building no big deal? I mean, I don't want to say no big deal. Is this a pure accident? Or is this also tied to these terrorist acts? That's the real question.
Insider is a big issue, especially in our industry that has infrastructure responsibilities. We need to drill down and find out about this inspiration and what insider is currently in the United States government, military, and in the United States government service, and address them right away. We got to address insider. We have to. We can't let this go on any further.
Tom, just to circle back there, you said earlier, and you just referenced again a connection there in Las Vegas. The police chief said they haven't identified that, but to your point, you said you believed as this investigation carries out in Las Vegas that I believe you just said you believe they will find a connection. Do you have any other information, or have you been privy to any other information other than what we just directly heard from the police there in Las Vegas?
No, I don't. This is a gut feeling. I've done this for 3.5 decades. I just think there's too many similarities, too much coincidence. I think something down the road they're going to show.
Thank you. I mean, how long have we been calling this out, guys? Right? A lot of you guys have been watching my lives, and we've been saying, I don't know what the FBI and the local authorities are saying. We don't believe that these are related. Tom Homan, ladies and gentlemen, can we get a round of applause for this guy? Is he the only guy with common sense here? He said that there's too many similarities to think that these are not related. Come on. I'm not saying just go off on a hunch and say that they are absolutely connected, but I'm almost like offended that they would just immediately dismiss the idea that these could possibly be related incidents.
Well, there's some sort of connection, whether they got, whether it's some same network or where they got the tools to pull these terrorist attacks off. I just feel like there's going to be something down the road, and I could be wrong. It's just a gut feeling I have. Got it.
Well, we know that they're going to keep us posted as that investigation continues. And Tom, we appreciate your time today. Thank you very much.
Wow. This is wild. So, yeah, I think I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit later on about that Fullerton plane crash that took place. But Fullerton, California. So what do we have? We had the New York drones, the New Jersey drones, There was some lady that got pushed. There was some person that got pushed onto the train track in New York just recently in the subway. Then you got the lady, that was they lit this woman who was on the subway not too long ago. Like, was that 2 weeks ago? We got the New Orleans truck crowd situation. You got Las Vegas Cybertruck, and now Fullerton, California plane crash. But it's not just a plane crash though. It's a Fullerton, California plane crash that crashed into a building. And of course, it's a small plane. This is currently under investigation, but you just can't make this stuff up, guys, right? I mean, just look at the timing of the events. Okay, great. Okay. I'll give it to you. This is a plane. The others were trucks and trains. So what are we going to see next? Like a bus? Are we going to see a motorcycle being used? How about an 18-wheeler, Because it seems like they're trying to, or maybe a boat or a ship. I mean, last year, comment down below if you guys remember what happened with the ships, right? Remember the Boston Bridge? Crashed a ship into a bridge and just took the whole bridge down. So, I mean, again, this doesn't compare to 9/11 in the least, but we've seen worse. And the scary part is that these people they're more informed, they're more experienced than they were years ago. So the question is what's going to happen next? What are they going to pull off next? And just going back to that Fullerton, California plane crash, isn't that hold on. I'm just thinking how many plane crashes is that this week now? Because didn't oh my God, it wasn't Japan. I feel like it was like a Korean airplane. There was I'll just say Asian airplane crash that took place not too long ago. If you guys remember, let me know in the comments. By the way, all you guys joining the live, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you guys. There's just a lot going on. There's a lot going on here. And Tom Homan is spot on. It crashed after takeoff. It was a 4-seat aircraft. All right, I need to do a little bit more research on this airplane crash in California. I'm going to get back on as soon as I can, guys. But man, God bless America. Jeez. Yeah, we need all the blessings we can get. Type amen in the comments down below. Hit the like button, subscribe. We'll see you guys on the next one.